Welcome back to the Poke Report.
We have a lot of OSU sports to talk about, so let's get into it.
Welcome to this edition of the Poke Report. I'm Katie Pelzel.
And I'm Michael Zurales. The Cowgirl Softball season has begun and kicked off with the Catch a Cow Classic.
That's right, Michael. The Cowgirls started off against 21st ranked Arizona State. The Cowgirls defeated Arizona State 5-2 with a key 3-run home run from All-American Haley Busby. The Cowgirls would drop their next game against Duke 4-0. The Cowgirls would only record 3 hits to Duke's 8. Looking to bounce back, the Cowgirls match up against Utah and would win with a walk-off home run from Cheyenne Factor. The Cowgirls would wrap up the Classic with wins over California Baptist 3-1 and Missouri State 5-1, ending the Classic with a 4-1 record.
So what a start to the season for the Cowgirls, Katie.
Yeah, that's a great start for them, and I know it always feels good to come into the season ranked highly.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be exciting postseason for the Cowgirls.
It should be.
To give us insight, we have our softball expert, Brock Baldridge, live at Cowgirl Stadium. Because you're on the scene, Brock, how does the stadium look after the renovations?
Well, good afternoon, Michael. I'm here at Cowgirl Softball Stadium, and right behind me, they're implementing some new turf. That bright green new turf is looking really good for the Cowgirls. Also, we see the batter's eye is brand new. No more OSU. They've transitioned it into Cowgirls, so lots of good stadium upgrades. However, head coach for the Cowgirls, Kenny Gajewski, has voiced publicly that the softball team isn't quite satisfied with the upgrades they've had. They want a little more into it, and we've seen the baseball stadium get their renovations in the baseball team, so the softball team definitely feels like that they deserve the same treatment as the baseball team and that they're ready to get another upgrade in renovations. However, for the crew right now to get the upgrades, they have until Saturday, March 4th, until the Cowgirls home opener against Stanford when the OSU Tulsa Invitational will begin. But, Michael, I think it's safe to say that a new softball stadium is definitely in the works.
How's the team been looking so far this season, Brock?
Hey, yeah, so far so good for the Cowgirls. They start the season off 4-1 after their tournament in Tempe, Arizona last week, getting a big win against Arizona State, also a big win against Utah. And I think the big surprise was that 4-0 shutout loss to Duke. However, the Cowgirls did make up for that, getting wins against Cal Baptist and also getting a big win against Missouri State. So I think the Cowgirls are right on track where they want to be right now. They've been able to get some big production from players like Kelly Maxwell and Cheyenne Factor, who had a big walk-off home run last week against Utah, which gave the Cowgirls their second win of the season. So I think right now for the Cowgirls, they're right where they want to be. However, this coming next week, their schedule starts to beef up where they will head to Clearwater, Florida. On Friday, they'll take on Michigan and LSU. Then on Saturday night, they face one of the top teams in the country going against the number 5 ranked Washington Huskies. So that could also be a future matchup that we may see later down the road in the Women's College World Series if both teams are able to qualify.
What is your general expectations for this Cowgirl softball team?
Yeah, I think the expectation for this team really, Michael, I'm just going to give it to you. It's going to be College World Series or bust for this team. I talked to players and coaches last fall, and they were really disappointed in the way that their team lost last year to Florida State. That game ended at 2 in the morning, so they're looking to rebound after that loss and try to bring a championship here to Stillwater. But as far as the expectations of this team, I think players and coaches, even dating back all the way to the very end of the season last year, feel like that they should definitely be in the hunt for a trophy this coming season.
Thank you for your time, Brock.
Michael, thanks for having me on.
The Cowgirls have a doubleheader today against 19th-ranked Michigan and 21st-ranked LSU.
Now on to some off-season football. The Cowboys have several 4-star recruits for next season, including Talon Shetron, a 6'3" receiver who finished his high school career with over 3,100 receiving yards and 34 touchdowns. Another recruit is Braylon Presley, the brother of Brennan Presley. Presley finished his high school career with over 7,400 all-purpose yards and 98 total touchdowns.
Those are some big additions, but on the flip side, the Cowboys lost 7 players to the transfer portal. They lost cornerbacks Tanner McAllister and Jarek Bernard. They also lost backup quarterback Shane Illingsworth. Wow, a couple tough losses for the Cowboys, huh, Katie?
Yeah, I think the bright spot is that they have some really good recruits coming in.
Yeah, some young talent coming in and coming off a season where they won the Fiesta Bowl and such a talented defense. Hopefully those young recruits can pick up the pace and get right back into action like last year.
And on top of that, a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Derek Mason coming from Auburn and also taking a pay cut. Should be interesting to see what Derek Mason can bring to this Cowboys defense. Obviously replacing Jim Knowles is no one's easiest task. He went to Ohio State.
He is inheriting a great defense, though.
He is, and some great returning leadership on that defense for sure.
Of course.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, but we don't leave. We have wrestling coming up next and baseball later.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this... well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Welcome back to the Poke Report. First off the break, we are going to take a look into wrestling. Before we recap the bout at the ballpark, we should report that Coach John Smith says AJ Ferrari will not wrestle again this season. This comes after his car accident on January 24th. Ferrari is being scheduled a surgery and should be fully healed by next season. The Cowboys wrestling team traveled to Globe Life Stadium last Saturday for college wrestling's biggest rivalry. The Cowboys took on second-ranked Iowa and lost 23-9. Dayton Fix became the first wrestler to represent his university and country in the same day he won bouts for both USA and the OSU Cowboys. The Cowboys have lost 4 of their last 5 duels. Wow, Katie, what is going on with the wrestling team?
I think with that massive loss of AJ Ferrari, they just haven't been able to get back to how they were.
Yeah, I can't remember a time they were outside the top 10 in wrestling. I think Cowboy fans are kind of losing a little bit of hope in their team because it hasn't been like this in years past. I've never seen them outside the top 10.
Let's just hope that they can find their step again.
Yeah, the Cowboys are now ranked 12th and will be back in action Friday against Bucknell. Then the Pokes will wrap up the regular season Sunday against Oklahoma. Both games are at home.
If you didn't know, Oklahoma State has a hockey club, and they are looking to build the club up. The team is 3-4 on the season. Our very own Kylie Austin was with the hockey team for their recent game.
All right, we are back here in Edge Ice Arena in Edmond, Oklahoma as the Cowboys take on Texas Tech. Coach, what are you looking to expect from this game?
I'm looking for them to take the same energy that they came out of their win over Kansas right out here to Texas Tech. Hopefully they keep up the momentum.
And what kind of things have you guys been working on in the last 2 weeks since your win?
We've been working on a lot of little things, and the boys have done a good job of working on those and perfecting them, so I think we're going to be playing a lot smoother today.
Is there anything that you think fans should specifically be watching for, players, position?
Aggression.
The Cowboys are in their 3rd straight home game. 2 weeks ago, they played Kansas in a 2-game series. The most recent game, they won 4-3 in overtime. This is the first matchup between the Cowboys and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Cowboys opened up the game, scoring 3 consecutive goals while allowing only 1 by the Raiders.
It is the end of the first period here, and the Cowboys have taken a commanding 3-1 lead over Tech. We've been seeing a lot of that aggressiveness that Coach talked about before the game. We are hoping to see that continue in the next 2 periods.
Entering the second period, the Cowboys became increasingly aggressive. Both teams racked up multiple fouls over the period. The Red Raiders score 1 on OSU goalie Chris Dart, but the Cowboys answer, scoring 2 more of their own.
It is the end of the second period, and the Cowboys have continued their 5-2 lead here against Texas Tech Raiders. So I wanted to bring out a hockey puck. It is about 3 inches by 1 inch and it fits in the palm of my hand, but this little sucker creates some serious damage. Hockey is known for having intense fights and a lot of missing teeth, and this little sucker is the cause of all of that.
In the third period, the Cowboys successfully shut out Tech as well as scoring one more for Oklahoma State. That brought the score to 6-2, which remained until the end of the game. The Cowboys face off against the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Game 2 of the series tomorrow afternoon at 4:45 at Arctic Edge Ice Arena in Edmond, Oklahoma.
The Cowboys beat the Raiders tonight 6-2. Coach, at the beginning of the game, you told me that you wanted to focus on aggressiveness. I saw nothing but aggressiveness. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, the boys came out and they did what they were told, and they did it together as a team, and I was very, very happy with their performance.
How does this win feel knowing that you're going to play them again tomorrow?
It feels real good. The boys are hyped up, but honestly, I'm just taking this as motivation right now, and I want them to play better tomorrow. Been looking better.
Congrats on the win, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
For the Poke Report, I'm Kylie Austin.
Thanks, Kylie, and good luck to the hockey team on the rest of their season.
Another highly ranked OSU team is the Equestrian Team, which is ranked #1 in the country. Luckily, joined with me as co-anchor is captain of the Equestrian Team, Katie Pelzel. So, Katie, how has the season been going so far this year?
It's been really good. We've had a great season. We only lost one meet last semester. At this point, we're mid-season, but we beat the top-ranked team last semester, and we were the first ones to do that. So we took their spot, and we're not leaving that spot. So,
what are some expectations going forward towards the postseason? I know that's something that everyone looks forward to.
Yeah, we obviously have some really big expectations. We expect to win Big 12s again. We did last year, and we have really high expectations to win a national championship. We have the team to do it, and we would be the first OSU women's team, and that's something that's really important to us, to win that for OSU, and really important to me and the rest of the senior class is winning that as seniors so that we can kind of leave the school and let them have a legacy to hopefully stay #1.
So not a lot of people know everything they need to about equestrian, and I think some fans at home would wondering, what is it like being on the equestrian team here at OSU?
It's a lot of work. We're a team, I think, that's overlooked quite a bit, but we do a lot of work in the barn with the horses, obviously getting them ready, and then we have to get ourselves ready, and we all have to be very strong. I mean, we ride 1,200-pound animals. My whole body weighs as much as their neck. So I think we spend a lot of time in the weight room, a lot of time doing cardio, and it's obviously overlooked a lot, and we're not very well known on campus, but stop by a meet. We're all very friendly. We'd love to have you. The biggest thing is we have senior day on Saturday, so come out and support your pokes, support your seniors.
Yeah, Katie. Well, thanks so much for joining us. And we are going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We have men's and women's basketball coming up next, and baseball to round up the show.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Welcome back. Last Saturday, the Cowboy basketball team took on West Virginia, and the Cowboys scored 45 in the second half to pull away with an 81-58 win. On Valentine's Day, the Cowboys traveled to Lawrence to take on 6th-ranked Kansas and would fall 76-62. The Cowboys shot a dreadful 17%, going 3 for 17. The Cowboy basketball team is 7th in the Big 12, while Kansas sits atop the conference. But how good is the conference? The NCAA evaluation tool ranking, NET for short, has 4 teams ranked in the top 15. Oklahoma State sits just outside the top 50. The conference average rank is 34. What is net ranking? Net ranking is a combination of analytics that include where the game was played, win percentage, scoring margin, and more to evaluate teams. The Cowboys' last opponent, Kansas, is ranked 7th in net. The Big 12 has 7 teams projected to make the NCAA tournament out of the 9 that are eligible. The Cowboys take on Kansas State at home Saturday and are looking to sweep the defending national champions Baylor on Monday at Gallagher-Iba Arena.
On the flip side, the women's basketball team is able to make the NCAA tournament, but currently sits 8th in the Big 12 standings. The Cowgirls took on Texas Tech and would win by a close margin of 62-58. The Cowgirls shot 21 for 27 at the free throw line, while the Red Raiders shot 9 for 14. Lauren Fields would score 20 points, which would make 2 straight games of at least 20 points. Lexi Keys would score all of her 16 points in the second half. The Cowgirls hit the road to take on Kansas State this Sunday and look to win 3 in a row.
Now we have a special guest here to talk about social media at Oklahoma State and how its relation to sports. Here to give us insight is our very own Cameron Proctor.
Thanks, Katie. Social media has grown over the past decade into one of the most prominent aspects of day-to-day life. Over half of the world's population uses social media. The sports industry within the past couple of years has used social media for more than just score updates. Oklahoma State sports teams have taken advantage of Twitter to promote their brand and share fun activities to keep the fans engaged and more. Let's take a look at what our winter and spring sports have shared this semester so far. Oklahoma State teams have all celebrated Black History Month this month by recognizing amazing former Cowboys and Cowgirls of color. Cowgirl golf highlighted Brescia Marshall, and Cowboy basketball highlighted Elsie Gordon, both of which were the first African Americans to play their respective sport at Oklahoma State. Cowboy wrestling also highlighted Joe James for becoming the first Black individual national champion in school history. Speaking of Cowboy wrestling, they hopped on the Not Wordle trend to showcase how many wins they have in the famous Gallagher-Iba Arena. They also just traveled to the Texas Rangers Stadium and engaged fans with fun content of Dayton Fix playing a little baseball and even tagging the Rangers to see if they are seeking a new outfielder. Dayton Fix also got some love from the Cowboys for his USA wrestling match. Lastly, for wrestling, 5-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist Jordan Burroughs took to Twitter about how standing alongside OSU coach John Smith is a dream come true for him. Cowboy basketball highlights our former Cowboys, now 2022 NBA players, as Lindy Waters III has now been called up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They also tweeted out a video of his first appearance just a few days ago. Cowboy basketball also tackles social issues head-on and makes sure to represent Oklahoma State well. For the game against West Virginia, equality pins were worn to keep equality and inclusion in the conversation. Now, the Cowboys also like to have some fun on Twitter, so this Valentine's Day, they put out these virtual Valentine's Day cards with our players on them for our lovely fans. And 2 of these lovely fans won a trip to Lawrence to watch the team take on the Jayhawks after they had been to every home game this season. This is an amazing way to showcase what our sports teams will do for those who are extremely loyal and true. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with this amazing tweet by Cowboy Baseball showcasing the new pinstripes. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Cameron. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have Cowboy Baseball. The Cowboys are ranked 8th in the USA Today poll. Right-handed pitcher Justin Campbell is an All-American preseason first team. He is also on the watch list for the Golden Spikes Award, which is given to the best amateur player in the country. The only OSU player to receive this award was Robin Ventura in 1988. The Cowboys will open up the regular season against second-ranked Vanderbilt in a 3-game series from Friday through Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee. Next Tuesday, the Cowboys will play at Globe Life Field against Sam Houston. The Poke Report may have a special recorded from Arlington, so stay tuned for that. That will do it for this week's episode of the Poke Report.
We hope you enjoy and have a good rest of your day, and as always, go Pokes!